Okay, I think I'm all set up. Hi everybody, it's me, Auntie Moira. So I did a video recently. I shared it on my Patreon, on Discord specifically. And it was just a speed video of me just drawing, and I did a picture of Purity, I did a picture of Rouge, and I did a picture of Knuckles. It seems like people were interested in it, so what I thought I would do this time around is like take it a little bit slower, do some narration, and show you guys how I sort of set my mood, get me out of art blocks and stuff like that, and just make me feel good while I'm doing artwork. And then while I'm doing that, I'm going to show you guys some really basic fundamentals that I follow when I am doing traditional sketches. So firstly, let's talk about the environment of your room. So what I like to do when it comes to settling into my position is making sure that I've got some relaxing music on. Music of choice right now is Sonic music, and it's nice and relaxing. Playlist, I'll put that in the description below. My desk is nice and tidy. I don't like working in a messy environment, especially this area here. I will make sure that it's clean, it's got good lighting source, and I'll go into the lighting source in a minute because I use something quite cool, and I'm going to put a link to the description for that as well. Stay hydrated, have a drink, make sure you've got something next to you, something that you enjoy as well, like something, even if it's like, you know, it's just a nice glass of water or something like that. I'll be drinking a lemon Coke Zero. Do not tell Astu, they will be very upset with me. If you know who that is, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't worry about it. Another thing I do as well, my friends always say to me at Discord, what are you doing, Becky? What's that sound? And I'm like, I'm just spraying. I love I love the smell of things in the room. I will always have a nice smell around me. I just think it's really sensual and it's really nice. This goes on me. It smells amazing. But alternatively, I do have an incense holder, and I will put that on right now. I don't put it here next to all the machinery and stuff like that. Say machinery next to all the PC and stuff. I don't want the smoke just constantly blowing into my face. But ooh, fire! Burn. Yeah, I think having a little bit of incense is really, really nice. Smells lovely. So I set the mood, make myself feel good, make myself feel comfortable, and that's the environment that I have right now. Let's talk about lighting in the environment. Okay, so the lighting in my room right now, let's talk about the main source of light. Right now, I have a red light in the room. This is more for my mood. I change it through Alexa. Alexa, Becky's office, blue. I think my Alexa is actually not working right now. Egg on my face. Well, I can set the colour of the room for whatever I feel. Right now it's on red. I like that because it comes through more of a purple than anything. I also have, I'll just tilt this a little bit for you. There you go. I have lighting all across my room. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel really relaxed. I love pretty lights all over the place. That's the overall lighting in the room. When it comes to a lamp, I do use a reading lamp, which is what this camera is connected to right now. Hello, let me move this wire back out the way. And this is such a cool little device that I bought off Amazon. I will put a link in the description. Right now it's switched off. It's basically like a long flat light, and this is it powered on. This is on the lowest setting. You can change it using this touch button here. I wouldn't recommend the brightest when you're filming like I'm doing right now, but the brightest when you're actually sketching. I'm gonna bring it all the way back down. Another cool thing is they have different settings for different colored light. So you can have this warm yellow. It's a bit softer here and it's very light here, and then you can have just white light, and then it's a bit tamer and then goes back to yellow. I like this one right here, which is like the lowest of the amber lights or the yellow light. It just feels really nice. And alternatively as well, if you don't have anything like this, you can easily just get a normal lamp in your room. Just any sort of good light source where you can clearly see the paper and clearly see your sketch. Also with this thing, it has a timer on it, so if you're actually reading, you can set the timer on it and it will switch off after a set amount of time. I don't exactly know how much time that is because I never really use it for reading, I just use it for drawing. And obviously an easy power button here. The problem that I found is because it's like a little touch screen sort of thing, I lean on it a lot and I accidentally press it when I'm when I'm doing my artwork, so that can happen. And finally, it has a USB here, a USB connector, so you can plug something in and charge it, or you can charge your phone wirelessly here by plopping your phone right here and it'll charge it. So yeah, I'll put a link to where you can buy this. It's not super expensive, and it plugs into the wall, so you know, it doesn't have to charge or anything like that. You obviously just need a power socket for it. Okay, cool. So we've got the environment, we've got the lighting. Let's talk about what tools I use to do my sketching. Okay, so I'm super basic. I love traditional stuff. I'm not going to go into crazy details. I don't use markers. I don't use you know, many colours. Everything I do is just a basic rough sketch. I always call it a rough sketch because I know that I'm going to finalise it in Photoshop. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. I'm going to use the liquify tool to change any problems, because there's always a problems with the traditional sketch to me. They're never perfect. But this is usually what I use. So first is this pencil. You don't have to use a coloured pencil. I like to use a coloured pencil for the base sketch because I can remove the colour using Photoshop just by messing around with the hue and saturation. So a nice blue, but you can choose any colour. You can just remove the colour from Photoshop and mess around with the lighting as well. If you don't want to use coloured pencils, you can obviously just use a standard pencil. Sometimes I'll use this for a really, really, really rough skeleton. Then I'll use this for the base, like, you know, building around the skeleton. And then this. These are my favorite pens. I buy these things. I buy these things every month. They're not super expensive, but I do buy them a lot. They're Papermate Flare Medium, and they are just fantastic. They are so good for line art. Look at these bad boys. If you buy one and use it a lot, it will start to go a little tiny bit blunty, which is good because then you can use that for thicker lines, and then you can get a fresh one and press really lightly for thinner lines. Or alternatively, just use another like black biro or press hard with your pencil, whatever. That's kind of what I do. But I highly recommend these. I will put a link in the description for them. Give them a go. They come in little packs of 4 on Amazon, or packs of 2 as well. If you can't find these on Amazon, or they're not available, like say, you know, they might not be on USA Amazon, I'm not sure. Just anything similar to this, and it'll work. Trust me, honestly, they're really, really good. Obviously, we'll need an eraser. Erasers aren't very good for coloured pencils, but they're obviously fantastic. I know these are really fundamentals, but it's just in case you're new to sketching. This is like your first time trying it, which, you know, which is awesome. Do it. But yeah, these don't rub out very well. They can. They rub out like halfway, but you know, this is obviously what you want. And the great thing about these, which I'll show you now, is they are quick absorbing, meaning that they don't rub off too quickly. So for example, I think it's about 4 seconds before the smudge finishes, meaning that if I go like this, 1, 2, you can see that it smudges along. But if I just wait 3 to 4 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, see, it's barely visible. So do 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No smudge at all. This is what I love about them, and they don't really go through the back of the paper that much as well. You know, markers tend to do that. This line art marker just does not do that. Again, I love them. I live for them. I have them all over the place. There's so many of them. Definitely give them a go. When I was saying before about like using pencils that they don't erase, just a quick example. I'm so sorry if you obviously know this, but like I said before, it's good for people who haven't really done traditional art in a while. See, so this one obviously didn't rub out that much, but the pencil did. Okay, so that is my basic. Let's move this out the way. Basic tools, obviously an eraser. Sorry, a sharpener. Do they have a different name in America for sharpener? What do you guys call these in the US? Is it still sharpener? We call these rubbers as well in the UK. I obviously said eraser because a rubber can mean something else in the in the UK. Yeah, and a sharpener for your pencil. I'd recommend the little bin version of it, so you can get all the stuff and just dump all the shit into a bin rather than getting shavings all over your room. And there we go. That's the basic tools. Let's talk about the fundamentals and the body shapes and stuff like that of my sketches. Okay, so how do I sketch? You know, balls of yarn? I always think about balls of yarn. Here's some pictures of real balls of yarn, and I'm going to show you exactly how I put them together. Ta-da! Bing, bing! Okay, video editing done. So what I usually start with is the big ball of yarn on the top. We're talking about like a really basic Sonic character. We're not talking like the body shape of like a Vector. We're not talking about the body shape of Eggman. We're talking about the general cast like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Silver Shadow, Blaze, etc, etc. And Purity. That's because that's who I'm going to be drawing right now. So we've drawn our first ball of yarn. Now there's another type of ball of yarn. The ball of yarns that are they have the paper around them to hold the yarn in place, and that shape is kind of like this. Really simple shape. Now depending on how curvy, how thick, how slim your character is, this doesn't always have to be the same. So Purity is a little bit more curvier than this, so I'll probably bring more weight to the bottom, like this. And then obviously the front, there'll be a bit more of a bump. So I'm establishing the body shape of my female character. This doesn't have to stay here, she has a belt, but any character you can just, you know, forget about this like little belt area. This is actually the hip line. You can just draw in your hips like this. But obviously my character's got a belt, so I'm going to put her buckle in like that and build from that. So that is the basic body shape. Ball of yarn, the traditional round, you know, ball of yarn that a cat plays with, and then you've got the ball of yarn that's got the sheet of paper in the middle that holds it in place. Like they squeeze in that ball of yarn so it's popping off the bottom and the top. That's what I picture when I'm drawing my characters. So when it comes to the limbs, the best thing about Sonic characters is that they're practically made of rubber. There's no just gonna have a quick drink. There's no bones in these characters. I never think of them having bones. I think the bones are made of like fucking like bendable wires and stuff like that. So what I mean by that is like you can do these really simple shapes like this. Always remember the center point is where the elbow will be. And then just throw in a circle where the hand is going to be. I'm gonna bring her leg up, I think, and then folded like this. And then we got a good starting pose here. Looks kind of cute. Just making sure the I switched it off. See what I mean? It's so easy to switch this thing off just by leaning on it very gently, but yeah, don't worry about it too much. So we've got the basic body shape here. We've done some really basic noodles. We've got the ball of yarn for the head. We got the squished ball of yarn for the body. We got some ropes and noodles for the hands, and some balls and shapes for the arms and feet, hands and feet. So let's draw the face. I always do a cross to show the direction of where the face is facing. When you're doing this for characters, you know, you're gonna do it in a completely different place, depending on where the character is looking. That center point doesn't necessarily mean where the nose is exactly going to be. I usually use this center point here to show where the top of the muzzle is going to be. So the top of the muzzle is usually where that cross is for me. These two almost look exactly the same. But you guys get what I'm talking about. So just quick examples of what I mean by putting a cross in place of the face. It's going to tell you the direction your character is going to be looking. And like I said before, this cross isn't going to be the nose, it's actually the very top of the muzzle for me. And draw the muzzle in place. Let's talk about muzzle shapes as well. One thing that I've found with muzzle shapes is there's something that I've seen artists do, and even myself, that I think doesn't look great, and I would highly recommend that you don't do this. So when you're drawing the muzzle, I want you to consciously think about where the eyes are. And what I mean by that is, let's say that we're drawing Sonic here. That might look pretty normal to some people, and you probably think, oh, there's nothing wrong with that, I think it looks okay. What I don't like is how the eye stops here on top of the cheek, on top of the bump. I don't like this. And again, what I mean by that is, if I can go into more of detail about it, and I hope I'm making sense, is when I'm drawing my muzzle, I keep in mind that I want fluidity of where the eye is resting on the cheek. So I more draw like the eye taking the shape of the cheek and then bringing the cheek around the eyes. It's really hard to explain. I know what I'm thinking in my head. So rather than having this bump here connected to the eye, I'll have the eye smooth into the cheek and then round the cheek like that. Does that make sense? I'm going to show you some examples of how I used to do this all the time, and I just feel this gives you more of a fluid, smooth shape for the eyes. So do keep that in mind. When it comes to the sides of the muzzle that go around the head, another thing that I do and other people do, and sometimes I still do it to this day, is I just end the cheek and I just do it rounded. What I found that Sonic Team do, or Yuji Yukawa, the artist, is they put a little line here and then they show that the cheek is, well, the muzzle is like wrapping around the other side of the head. You know what I mean? This little bit here. It's just to show that this muzzle is going around, because the head is spherical. And yeah, that's something that you can do. I don't do it all the time. I've just noticed that yeah, it's on the Sonic channel artwork, and I'll give some examples again. They should pop up now. Bing bing, there you go. But yeah, keep that in mind. Let's get back to the sketch. Once you've drawn the muzzle, draw the eyes. That's what I always do. And again, make sure the eye shape follows the muzzle shape, so it's nice and smooth. Let's throw a little collar in there. Sonic characters don't have necks. They do for me. I don't like the fact that Sonic characters don't have necks. I always put a little collar in it, something that I've done ever since I was a kiddo, and I'm not gonna stop anytime soon, so. When it comes to ears, I usually do them directly above the eye, so I follow like these two lines of the eye, up like this. Same for this side as well. Obviously the inner ear will be more to this side because the camera is it's not facing directly into that ear, so this inner ear would be bigger, this one would be smaller like that. Again, I'm explaining fundamental things, you probably know this already. I probably sound very I don't know, I wouldn't say condescending, but I sound like I'm definitely stating the obvious when it comes to some of this stuff. But I'm trying to keep in mind, like, I've got to make this available and open to people who don't draw at all and people who do draw and just want to learn some new things alongside the fundamentals that I'm explaining. Okay, so I've done the basic head shape and we've drawn the eyes. Let's draw some pupils. Really simple. Let's draw her nose. And give her a little smile. A little smile. With Sonic characters, you can always put the smiles over here on the side. Don't be afraid to put them wherever you want. Be expressive. Do whatever you want. But my character, she's just having a little generic smile with a little fangy because she's so important. Her fangs are really important. Cool. Okay, so we've got the basic head shape. Let's start building around the arms and the legs. So because we've put these little noodly skeletons in, these little wireframes, we're going to draw around them. We're going to build the muscle. And, you know, Sonic characters don't really have that much muscle, so all you have to do is make them fatter. Like that. Same with the other arm as well. Save a little bit of room at the end of your noodles, at the end of your hoses, because that's where you're gonna put your gloves, or the cuff of your gloves. So make sure you leave room for them. And when it comes to hands, I can't really explain how to draw hands. There are thousands of references online, and I'm gonna just show you some now that I've got saved on my PC. Bam, 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 bam. I just use those when I come to the digital side of the artwork. So for now, don't be afraid to just do whatever hand pose you want, because by the time you put the picture into Photoshop or whatever, you know, software you use, the hands are probably going to be more finessed and more cleaner, and they're going to look nicer, so don't worry about that. But for now, I'm going to do a I'm going to do a pointing, maybe. So we go 1, 2, 3 fingers, but then one out like that. And then her thumb. She's like, look over there. And then she steals your money. For this hand, I'm probably going to do it clenched. So all 4 fingers are folded over. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then her thumb in place. We've saved a little bit of room here to put her cuff in. There we go. Same for the feet. Her legs are a little bit thicker than her arms, so I'm going to add a little bit more muscle than normal. Because this is a rough sketch, you could just keep adding to it. If the leg feels too thin like that, don't be afraid to just put another line in and rough sketch that in. Again, we need to save a little bit of room around the ankle area for the cuff of the boot. Or something. Is there a cuff? the sock area of the boot, like that. There we go. Basic legs. What I usually do when it comes to drawing shoes and stuff like that, I do tend to turn my paper this way and then, you know, draw the shoe from the side like this, rather than drawing it like from here. Oops, I've just accidentally pressed the space bar with the paper here and stopped the recording. I'll have to merge them together in editing. Yeah, so I turn the paper to the side like this, so that I'm not drawing the foot upside down, I'm actually drawing it like, you know, horizontally. And it just feels a little bit better. When it comes to shoes and boots and stuff like that, again, I can't really explain to you how to draw a boot. I mean, I can, but that's not the point of this video right now. The point of this is just showing you how I break down the basic shapes and put things together. Here's a load of shoe examples that I've got saved. What I would recommend to any artist, whether you're just starting or whether you're experienced, if you're not doing this already, start to do it. Save references. Save those artistic tutorials and those helps and those guides that are out there, because there are so many, and you're gonna be pretty pissed off if that one that you usually go to on a browser or something like that is randomly gone and you're never gonna get it back. Save it to your PC and share it with the world. Show other people you know, that they can learn from some of these things. Again, yeah, loads of examples that I can pop onto the screen. I always have them saved. These are what's in my folders. And there's our basic body shape done. Basic body shape, and we've built muscle around these little noodly noodly arms and legs. Let's start to do the hair. Let's do the bangs first. For my girl, her bangs are actually quite low and heavy. A lot of people do tend to draw them like kind of like Amy's, where they're up and they're a little bit elevated above her face. They're not like that. They're actually heavy and they come down, especially the first two. And then that last one curves back a little bit. I'm sorry if this sounds like a tutorial on how to draw my character. It's not. It's just because I've done the fundamentals, or I've done the basics. Now I'm kind of just going into the details of my character because that's what I'm drawing. And that's obviously not what this tutorial is about. But yeah, when it comes to her hair, I'm probably going to do a nice flowy hair because she seems, I wouldn't say she's super dynamic right now and she's not moving that much, but I think, you know, having a little flow to the hair would make it look nice. As if she's moving this way a little bit. Think about the direction your character could be moving and, you know, think about the way the hair or the bangs would move with that. Let's put her little bandana in. 1, 2. Finally, in terms of her body, her tail. I love long tails. I love long tails so much. She has a long bent tail. My favorite things on characters: long ears, long tails, long hair, and fangs. I just think it looks so cool. A lot of my characters have all of those things. Right, just gonna put some little details on how her outfit will look. And we are done with the baseline sketch. And from here on, I'm going to do the line art. I probably won't be talking that much during this one. I'm just going to put the lines in and you're going to see the end result. I know I've said this so many times. Mwah! Oh, I love these pens so much. Get one and give it a go. They're so good. Okay, so let's go. You guys still with me? Are you still watching? Have you skipped the video to the end to see the final result? Let's have a check. If you're still watching and you're actually interested in this, I want you to reply in the comments with the word ring. Because that's what I'm drawing right now. I'm drawing the rings on her boots. And there we go. This foot I don't like. I will be fixing that. It needs to be more of a side view than it does need to be a front view. But that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everybody being here, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.